Shalom and welcome back to Israel with Aline. Today we are in Akko, in the Akko of Israel, a unique biblical city with breathtaking landscapes. It's also a place that has seen many wars and much bloodshed, but at the same time it's the birthplace of one of the world's first Christian communities. A city that holds secrets behind each one of its stones. And to make this journey with us, we have a very special guest. So please say shalom to my father, Dr. Jorge.
Shalom, everyone. Thanks for the invite, Aline. It's great. And if you are ready, let's begin. Let's begin.
Acre, or as we know it in Hebrew, Akko, is one of the oldest port cities in the world. It has more than 5,000 years of history, and it is located in an extremely strategic spot. It is located at the entrance to Galilee, and that's why over centuries and millennia, everyone who wanted to conquer Galilee and its riches first had to enter Akko and conquer the city. And that's why over 5,000 years, dozens of peoples have passed through this place. Many stories have happened here, and even biblical figures are connected to this city and this port. So, let's now discover more about this place.
Guys, did you notice these boats with Brazilian flags? What a fantastic thing. Do you know where we are? In Acre, but it's not our Acre from the northern region. It's the city of Acre, which is in Israel, with 3 boats with our beloved flags.
Maybe they feel this relationship, this connection with Brazil, but even though it's the same name, the origins of the names are completely different. And Acre, the city, is so ancient, 5,000 years old, that no one even knows how to say what the origin of the name is or what the meaning of the name Acre is here in Israel. Acre was founded as a port city by the Canaanites during the Bronze Age. And then the city started to change hands. 25 different peoples passed through here. After the Canaanites, the city was conquered by the ancient Egyptians. The people of Israel, more specifically the tribe of Asher, also tried to conquer the city, but they failed. The city then fell into the hands of the Phoenicians, then the Assyrians, the Babylonians, and in 539 it became part of the Persian Empire, which today is Iran. Throughout the century, the city kept changing hands, and when the Greeks conquered Acre, they changed the name of the city to Ptolemy. And that's exactly the name we also know because of the Bible. The Bible tells us that at Pentecost, with the coming of the Holy Spirit, thousands of people converted and the first Christian communities began to form. And one of them was founded right here in Ptolemais. But if we're talking about one of the first Christian communities in the world, was it Paul who came to visit this place and more specifically this community? We know that after Paul's conversion on his way to Damascus, he went from being a persecutor of Christians to becoming a Christian himself, and he began to encourage and strengthen these communities. And then he starts traveling from city to city. Over several years, Paul visits dozens of communities, as we can see on this map. And Paul was finishing his 3rd missionary journey. This was around the year 58 after Christ. And he was then in Tyre, and he decided to return to Jerusalem to finish the journey in the city that was most important to him, but also in a city where his life would be at risk. But even knowing that, he decides to go. And on the way between Tyre and Jerusalem, where does he decide to stop? here in Ptolemais. As for us, we finished the journey that started in Tyre, arrived in Ptolemais, where we greeted the brothers and spent a day with them. And where is this Christian community that Paul visited? It still exists to this day. This very building behind us is a church. And not only that, this building on the other side is too. And there are several Christian buildings here in the old city of Acre. The community continues to grow and flourish to this day. And it's beautiful to see the Christian presence here in Acre, even after almost 2,000 years. And now what we're going to do is literally explore the underground of Acre. We're going to go through this door, start going down, and not only travel back centuries in history, but also discover what's beneath our feet. Because when we walk through Acre, sometimes we don't realize that there are layers and layers and layers of city. So are you ready? Let's go. So let's go, everyone. Come in with us. In 1099, the Crusaders conquered the Holy Land. However, the next 200 years are marked by constant wars and battles against different Muslim empires. And that's why the Crusaders, when they were here, built fortifications and prepared for war. And of course, if someone wants to protect the Holy Land and Galilee, one of the first places that needs to be fortified, which one is it? Right here, the city of Acre. And that's why they built a gigantic fortress here. And this walk really makes me feel like I'm in an underground labyrinth. The Crusaders were Christians who came from Europe with the goal of conquering the Holy Land. They are very famous. Many movies and books have been written about their stories. But what not many people know is that in 1191 Acre became the capital of the Crusaders, and it remained so for the next 100 years. And then this fortress became one of the main Crusader centers in all of the Holy Land. Crusader soldiers lived here, Christian monks, and pilgrims who came to visit the Holy Land would stay here, and there was even a hospital inside. Look here, how interesting. We see a staircase and we can see that it goes up, 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 and it seems like it doesn't lead anywhere, but that's not really the case. For sure, when this staircase was built, it led somewhere. The thing is, this place was buried, and this upper area hasn't been excavated yet. It's amazing to imagine, but this entire underground city we're walking through is original. None of this was rebuilt. What happened is that due to wars, this fortress was abandoned and this entire lower area was buried. It filled up with earth, sand, and archaeological remains from centuries and centuries. And what the archaeologists did when they came here is, for decades, they've been cleaning the fortress, removing all of this that was in the way. Removing, and revealing the history of the place. And we can really only imagine how much archaeology, how much history there is still to discover in this place. How many secrets are still hidden here behind these stones? Many of the soldiers and people who stayed here in the fortress would spend day after day, and often they would also get a little bored. There weren't wars and battles here every day, and that's why during the archaeological excavations of this fortress, several games were found. And here they made some reproductions of the games. So if you were listening, there are some people playing here around us. And this one is my favorite game. Before I reveal the answer, let's see if you can determine how to play. We need 2 people to play. Dad, do you want to play with me? But
I wouldn't miss this for anything.
So let's explain how to play the game. Here we can see that there are all these holes. There's this mask and a ball. We put the ball here in the mouth. You hold one ring, I hold the other. And what we have to do is, look, start pulling. We have to...
Don't let the ball fall into the holes. Hit here. Great.
Exactly. Let's go, Grêmio. Grêmio. Grêmio versus Inter. So, as you saw, the game is a little harder than it looks. But here, in daily life, we have to remember that it wasn't just a city of wars. People also ate, celebrated, played games here. There were many activities besides all the industries and factories they needed to have here for their survival to get by day to day. But shall we keep exploring? Let's go, let's go. Here on the side we can see war cannons, but they are obviously not from the Crusader period. These cannons are from the year 1799, used in the battle against Napoleon. Yes, Napoleon Bonaparte from France also tried to conquer the city of Acre, but he lost the battle against the Turkish Ottomans. The same Napoleon who managed to conquer much of Europe and other regions actually suffered one of his greatest defeats here in the city of Acre and fled.
Bellini, what a wonderful thing is this. What exactly was this place here?
We are now in one of the great halls of this fortress. And honestly, calling it great is an understatement. Look at the width of this column. Incredible. It's a colossal room. And what is this?
This here is a cafeteria.
Really? This was the community cafeteria. The people who lived here, many of them were monks or soldiers, so they would gather in this hall every day, 2 or 3 times a day, and here they would have their communal meals. And since this was one of the places where they spent the most time in the fortress, a place for everyone to gather, that's why they decided to make it truly colossal.
Colossal. It's wonderful.
This colossal place was built as a dining hall, as an everyday place. But we can never forget that we are in a fortress, in a place constantly prepared for wars and battles. The great walls around here, all the fortifications were meant to defend the place. But if they lost the battle and the place was taken by the enemies, what did they need to do?
I can already imagine a tunnel to escape.
Exactly. I mean, everything is done for victory, but there's also a plan B. So underneath us, even deeper, there's a tunnel that continues.
Can we see it?
Come on, do you want to see it? Let's go then. Let's check out the tunnel below now, the secret escape tunnel of this place.
It's really something unique.
But don't tell my dad that this place isn't as glamorous as it looks at first glance. This place had more than one use. In times of war and need, it could be the escape tunnel through which they would flee the fortress. But in daily life, during times of peace,
That's not what I'm saying.
is the sewage plumbing. So, dirty water would come out of the fortress here and be dumped toward the sea. And in times of war, when people had to escape, they didn't care about what was on the ground. So, We literally went down the pipe. We're inside the Crusader era sewage pipe here for water.
Aline, I'm impressed by this open part of Acre. What is this fortification?
These giant stone spheres are catapult stones. Over centuries of war, many of them ended up scattered here throughout the city. And even today, when we walk here in Acre, we see several of them. Imagine a stone like this flying through the sky at high speed. It really could cause a lot of damage. Acre has gone through many wars throughout its history, but there have also been periods of peace here.
And that's why we need to pray for peace. Today, Acre is an example for the entire region of how Jews and Muslims can live together in peace here. And I hope this will spread throughout this whole region of the world.
Exactly. Here in Acre, Jews and Muslims live together. One of the oldest Christian communities in the world lives here in the city. And also, not many people know, but Baha'is live here, Druze live here, several religions live side by side. And even during this year and a half that we have unfortunately lived through war here in the region, Acre has remained the same way you see it now, a peaceful city. We saw that even with war in other places, this place today is not an example of war, but rather an example of peace. Of how we can learn from our history and through prayer and effort achieve peace. Thank you very much, Father.
I'm the one who should thank you, my daughter.
For being part of this historic journey of wars, but also of the peace we have today. A hug to everyone, and I'll see you next Sunday.